Hi guys, and welcome back to yet another YouTube video. Today I want to talk to you guys about sleep, because we all know that sleep is important for our results, and especially when you want to build muscle, but we don't know how to better our sleep quality and why there are certain things we should and should not do before trying to go to sleep. So if this is not interesting for you, you don't have to see this video, because this is mainly what it is going to be about. But I hope that you would just take a minute or two or 10, I don't know how long this video will be, to see if there's anything you could do to better your sleep quality and hopefully better your results at the gym or at your job, because this has a lot to do with all the places you want to be better. So if it's at the gym, or if it's at work, or if it's with your family, sleep will always be important, and it's one of your basic needs in like an everyday. So first and foremost, we have to talk about your sleep environment. Like, are you cold when you're sleeping or you're going to bed? Are you very warm? Then you might have to change your pillow, you might have to change your blanket, because like temperature regulations has a lot to say, and if it's too hot or if it's too cold, you will never get top-notch sleep quality. That mentioned, you should also always go to sleep in a cold bedroom. I never do. Like, I just have to be honest, I never go to sleep in a cold bedroom. I always have the heater on, especially in the winter, because I can't stand going to bed when it's freezing. But I always turn off the heater, and I always open the window so that I get fresh air in when I'm sleeping. And usually I go to bed pretty early, or sometime before I'm planning on actually sleeping, because I want the room to get colder as I'm in the room instead of going into a freezing room. So that is one of the first things that you can do to better your sleep quality. Sleeping in a room that is too hot will make it uncomfortable, not only when you're trying to go to sleep, but also when you're sleeping. And it's better to get the fresh air in while you're sleeping, instead of being locked in the same air all night long. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk to you guys about is caffeine. And first of all, I have to say that I'm not against caffeine in any way. Like, I love to have myself like an iced latte or a can of Monster from time to time, but I try to not have an intake of caffeine on a daily basis, because I want like the caffeine to actually have an effect when I'm drinking it. And a lot of people say that they can't feel the difference from drinking caffeine to not drinking caffeine. And I have to say that I think that that is one of your cues to like try to cut down. You don't have to cut it out like in total, but just try to cut down on the amount of caffeine that you consume in a day. And a lot of people is going to hate me for saying this, but I'm saying it as just a tip for you and how you should or can better your sleep quality. But like, let me set this in an example for you, because that is easier. If you have an intake of 300 milligrams of caffeine at 12 o'clock, it will take 6 hours for the body to be able to make that caffeine intake just the half of it. So that will say that or that means that if you drink 300 milligrams of caffeine at 12 o'clock, at 6 o'clock in the evening, your caffeine intake, or the caffeine that's still in your body, will be 150 milligrams. So that means that it will still affect your body throughout the day, even though you have been drinking it at daytime. So my suggestion is that you should stop drinking caffeine somewhere between 12 and 2 in the daytime. And I know a lot of people will say like, oh, but I can't feel the difference. I don't notice it if I drink caffeine and then go straight to bed. And it will not say that you will not be able to sleep if you drink caffeine. It will just let your body be more relaxed when you go to sleep if you don't drink that much caffeine throughout the day. And there was this project going on some time ago where they were checking the effect of the caffeine intake. And I'm sorry, there was just something weird with my camera. They were checking the caffeine intake if you stopped it at like 3 o'clock rather than drinking caffeine until you were going to bed. And what they found out was that people were able to sleep no matter when they stopped drinking caffeine, but the sleep quality for the people who stopped drinking caffeine earlier in the day was a lot better. They had a lot better REM sleep. They had longer what do you call it, like sleep intervals than the people who didn't drink, or the people who did drink caffeine a lot. And all in all, when the study was finished, they could see there was better recovery for the people who was not drinking caffeine late in the evening. Another thing that you can do to better your sleep quality is to try to take some time off screen time before you're going to bed. We know that sitting on a computer, using our phones, and watching TV before bedtime will, in a lot of cases, disturb our vision, and the light from these advices will actually make it harder for us to fall asleep because they make us more awake. And there is like on this, you can change the light from the bright light to there's like this night mode light that you can use instead, which is better. But the best thing is to actually just take it all away like 1 to 2 hours before you go to sleep. You could rather like read a book, hang out with your family, or just relax, do something else, and try to calm down as much as possible before going to bed. Because sitting up watching TV, especially in a dark room with a lot of light from the TV, will make it harder for you to fall asleep, because your eyes are so used to the light that it takes some time to actually calm down, and like all the brain activity as well. And we want to calm down both our mind and our body before going to sleep, so that it will be easier for us to both fall asleep and also have a generalized better sleep quality all over. The next thing that I want to mention is, and this is very hard for the people who live in the north of Norway and in the north at all, because you should try to have it as dark as possible in your room to make it easier to fall asleep. And in the winter time, that's no problem for us because it's dark like almost all the time, which is also why it makes it very hard for me to try to do content with the good light in the winter, because it's dark all the time. But in the summertime, especially in the north, we have the midnight sun, which means that the sun is up like all day long, all night long. There's light and there's sun like at every hour in every day, all summer. And then we have to have very thick curtains that we can pull together to block the sun out. We have to have this, I don't know what you call it in English, like these rolling curtains, like you can pull down to make it even darker. And if you have those where you can pull down or and the dark curtains to pull together, you're able to block out as much sunlight and daylight as possible. So that is one tip if you live in the north, because it's very beautiful with the sun and everything, but it's also not that good because of the way it affects your sleep. And like when I was younger, I had no problem with, like, when I was tired, and then I just went to sleep. But the older that I've gotten, I feel that it's harder to fall asleep in a very light room. So the roll down curtains and the blackout curtains are absolutely the best for bettering my sleep quality in the summertime. So the next thing, and this might be the hardest to actually be able to do something about, is what time of the day you're actually working out on. Because for your body and for your sleep, usually it will be the best to do a daytime workout, because then it won't affect your sleep quality. But a lot of people work like from 8 to 4, 7 to 3, 9 to 5, and are not maybe able to do their workout in the morning or in the daytime. So if you're combining the late workout with caffeine, pre-workouts, energy drinks, and all of these things, I'm sorry, it might be hard to actually get the workout in so early in the day that it won't affect your sleep. But what you should do is that if you have to work out late in the day or in the evening, you should try to use a stim-free pre-workout that is not with caffeine, because the caffeine will also affect your heart rate in the long run. And you should not wait until like 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening before going to the gym. I know a lot of people does that because they want to work out in peace and don't want anyone else to be there or be bothered. But if you have to go to bed before like 11 to get up to your daytime job, that will make your sleep quality a lot worse. So if you're able to work out like right after work or early in the morning before you start work, that will be the absolute best for your long run sleep quality. Yeah, and I know that it's hard, that sometimes you're not able to do all of the things that you should do to have the best sleep quality. But if you try to do the best things for yourself as often as you can, that wouldn't make it like, that would give you the best results that's possible for the time that is right now. And maybe you're able to make it even better later, which is not given, but we're allowed to hope so. Yeah. Anyways, I hope that this video gave you a few tips about how you can better your recovery, better your sleep quality. And yeah, I also want to mention that you should not eat too much food before going to bed. And it's not because it's not good for your metabolism or anything. You should actually have a decent meal, but we find that it's the best to eat that meal 1 to 2 hours before you're going to sleep, and then having a good combination with both proteins, fat, and carbs to be able to give your body something to work on when you're sleeping, to give nutrition to the body, but to also not be too full before going to sleep, because some people find it a bit inconvenient to be very full and like feels like your stomach is going to blow out almost. So eat a meal before you're going to bed. Usually 1 to 2 hours before is the best. My last meal of the day usually is like 1 hour before bedtime, and it really works out very well for me, so might work out for you too. Yeah, but anyways, I hope that you got some good info from this video, and if you have any questions about recovery or sleep or workouts, nutritions, whatever, just comment in the section below and I will answer as soon as I see it. And you can also check out my Instagram for daily updates and training tips and my workout programs and whatever I find out that I want to do and share. So anyways, take care guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.